Okay, friends, huge student loan account investigation breakthrough. Last night, I decided to think back. I know that the loan went through redisclosure at $111,989. I know it, but I didn't know how to prove it, right? So in my head, I'm just like, what can I do to prove this? So I used to download all of my statements on my old computer. Like I mentioned, they used to have a lot of data on them and they were worthwhile looking at. But when they stopped putting information that was helpful on them, I stopped looking at them. But on my old computer, I have the statement downloaded from September 2015. Here it is. So you can see here that for whatever reason, they changed my monthly payment here. All of a sudden, my direct deposit was for more money than initially had been agreed upon. Why was it more? Well, it turns out that this is the point where the loan went through redisclosure. And then I thought, okay, something did change here. So I have proof of that. And then if you count back from September 2015, if you say, what's going to be 27 years and like 2 months away from there? Well, if you count, you know that September 2015 to September 2025 is 10 years. September 2025 to September 2035 is 20 years. And then from there, you would end up at 2042, right? But then we've got a few more months. So then that would take you to like February 2043. So there we have it. It's not just something that I think. I can prove now with documentation that the loan went through redisclosure at that point. And I also can prove this by looking at what I've paid over the past few years. So instead of just being 7 years into this 27-year loan term, I am actually more like 17 or 18 years into it. And that means that they will be missing out on about $56,000 in interest. So, in order to get that in there, as you can see, there is a $52,000 difference between like the change that they made with the new repayment plan. They changed it so that they lowered my payment by $213 because that's interest that like they're they were counting on that now they're missing out. But in order to capture some of this money, they want to spread this new loan term out over 20 years. So they need to start over the loan and then they can roll all the interest that I wouldn't be paying into the loan. So this is bad. The reason that this is happening is because, for whatever reason, one night I logged into my account. It was like midnight on a Sunday. This was last year. This is why I filed the first complaint. Last year I logged in and I could see all the capitalization that they had added to my account. And it was like on like a little countdown. It was crazy. But during that time, the way that the account was set up, it was like the only thing that was being paid at that time was the capitalization. So, in order for you to capture that without changing the original loan term, you need to spread out the loan longer so that you can capture that amount of money that you added onto the loan without it looking like you added $20,000 to it, because that would be bad, right? That's like a whole new loan. But, and I think that maybe they're doing it so that if whenever you ask for, like what's going on, why have I paid so much money, it doesn't look like it in your account because it's hidden. That's why it says that I've paid like a little over $31,000 in interest in my account, but my tax information clearly says that I've paid over $49,000 in interest. So where is that other, I think I mentioned in another video, the other $17,400? Well, that other $17,400 has all been paid to the capitalized interest that's part of the principal now. But in order to capture that, you've got to spread out the loan term and you've got to play around with the monthly installment payment amounts to get your money. And that is why they sent me the new repayment term right before the direct consolidation because they want to make sure that they're capturing that $52,000 that that they're not getting from me now because I've paid down the principal. So that is what is going on. If you think that this has happened to your account, one of the ways for you to dig in and find out is if your monthly payment changed at some point. So look around for that. You're probably going to have to dig deep, but just go to your payment history and look for places where the payment changed. And this may be a point where they redisclose your account. If that's the case, so one way to find this out is look at that statement that you have, or just go by the payment history. What was the amount of your loan at that time? Take it over to an amortization table and break it down until you get to the amount of your monthly payment. This is how I discovered it with mine. I just kept taking down the number. I knew that the loan had been changed around, the $114,000 mark, but I didn't know exactly where. So what I did was I just adjusted the amount, took it down until I got to the exact amount of my monthly payment. Once I got there, I was like, I bet you that's where they redisclosed it. Well, now I have proof because I went back and I found the monthly billing statement from September 2015. Now, even if you don't have your billing statement, you still can find this. And if nothing else, you can email and be like, hey, it looks like my loan was redisclosed on, this month and this year. And if they pretend like they don't know what you're talking about, I highly recommend making a complaint on studentaid.gov. I have made complaints in the past and nothing has happened. But when I said redisclosure, the ball got rolling. All of a sudden, there was a lot of interest in this case. So if you have the same thing going on, you should totally do that. Also, if you are with American Education Services, just know that at this time, you can do a direct consolidation and move your student loans back to the federal government if you have a federal student loan. So those are the FFELP loans. You can move it back, and then they're going to do an audit for the income-based repayment plan because that plan was available to those of us that have FFELP loans, and they should have been telling us about that and letting us use that instead of putting us in forbearance constantly and driving up the price of our loan. So if you find this out, do your detecting. If you do, it's worth filing a complaint. It's also worth thinking about a direct consolidation. Obviously, you've got to weigh and measure, what's going on with you, but I think you should at least call studentaid.gov and see what your options are, because I think that if you stay with American Education Services, they are going to continue to suck money out of you. Like they even want to suck the money out of me as I'm leaving them by lowering my monthly installment and stretching the loan out even further. So yeah, just I'm really excited about this because over the years, I just felt like I was just throwing money out the window. I didn't really know what was going on, but now I know. Now I've got it figured out. So I hope it's helpful to you as well. I'm very passionate about people not getting into these situations with these student loan service providers because this can really set you back. I just think about all the money that I've spent on this student loan that I didn't have to spend. And I don't know we have 3 rental properties right now, but if I hadn't spent all this money over the past few years on this student loan, who knows where we would be. We could have more rental properties, or we could have more investments or something. So that's why I think that this is such a key part of financial independence, because student loans really can suck you dry. And some of the time, it's not because you did anything wrong or were irresponsible. It's because you don't know exactly what's going on in the background with these companies. So dig into your account. If you see something like this happening, file a complaint and get on the horn and say, hey, I know what you're doing now, and I'm reporting it. So that's all for now. Hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you check out your account and you find anything strange, and I'll see you in the next one.